Hi, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of The Misfortune. This is episode 21. Special meaning that this series is now old enough to drink. So let's jump right into it. Now, in the last episode where we left off, Reglor witnessed a very terrifying yet majestic view of the distant volcano, which most likely houses the Temple of Legion. This volcano overshadows a innocent but abandoned town of North Rock. Now, North Rock has, as you can see here, has no signs of life at the moment, no light sources, no activity, as far as we can tell from a pretty good distance away. But if just to picture it, you're basically, our team is essentially at the top of a hill, and the trail itself climbs yes, uh, it climbs all the way down into the town itself. So the town is in a kind of a canyon of sorts surrounded by these mountains. And then the Temple Legion is presumably right there. So the volcano erupted, caused a very huge quake. We lost one of the Misfit guards, and now we're down to three characters along with us and Sparky. And I did add a question from my send off that was flying debris. I mentioned that the volcano, I think it, unless I was narrating it and I didn't note it down, but um, the volcano was spewing ash and rock, exploded basically, and the aftermath was that view of the sunset behind it. So now it's about nighttime, and it's about dusk, I should say. Yeah, I'd say the sun just set, so it's nighttime now, early night. Um, and Gruith and Dervish are okay. That one Mystic Guard is still down at that little cave we found. I was on my way back up to tell Dervish and Ruth that we found a spot to camp because I think in our minds that the town might be overrun with the potential goblins, the Danger House crew. So we don't want to immediately go down there when it's dark. We want to. I didn't narrate this, but we want to just thinking logically, we want to wait till it's daytime. So we're going to rest up in this cave while people will take shifts and keep an eye out because it's still a pretty active trail. But most likely, everyone, all the Northerners from many episodes ago were passing through um, the previous town of Bellhop. So most of the citizens of North Rock are gone. At least that's what regulars. That's what I'm thinking. So what I want to roll is did the volcano when it spewed and shot that it exploded and all those parts of the volcano went flying through the sky, did it reach us? Now, I'm not using a little challenge for myself today. I'm not using the one-page mythic. I'm going back to another one of my mini oracles, and that was a percentage system. I just spit out a percentage based on what I think, and if I roll within that window, then it happens. And if it's closer, depending on how high it is, that's the intensity of the outcome. So I think that because we are within possibly several miles of the volcano, and the volcano is absolutely gargantuan, it overshadows North Rock, that there is a 60% chance, I believe, that that these spewing rocks, these flying rocks, will come barreling down at us. So let's roll for that. 60% chance, 78. So luckily we are safe, but because that was halfway between 100 and 60, I'm going to say that I see many of the flying debris from the volcano landing on various parts of the landscape in the background. So it just kind of landing, exploding. So nothing really harmful to us. So we just dealt with the quake, so I'm okay. Sparky's fine. Um, I'm going to run down and check on Dervish and Ruith. So I will run down. I don't think I will require an athletics check of any sorts. Run down to check on Dervish, Ruith. So as I approach them, and since I'm not using the Oracle anymore, I'm going to have to think of these things myself. So get a little more creative. But I'm going to use the Oracle 0 to 100 to basically choose a threshold on how severe something is. So the higher the number, the more crazy, the more chaotic something is. So I'm just going to roll randomly. 82. Um, how do I perceive that? So 82 is pretty high up there. It's not like it's it's a problem. It's definitely not a severe like deadly problem, but it's a problem. So 82, I believe. Gruith, I think Gruith fell over. Or no, he maintained his balance, but Dervish fell off the rock. He failed that check, I believe. Falls off the rock. So I think Gruith maybe like or Dervish like punctured his head onto like maybe he hit his head on the rock. So I want to say Dervish hit his head on a rock. And by the way, I almost forgot to mention, I did make character sheets for Dervish and Gruith. Now, Gruith, Gruith has been dumbed down a bit. He's been compressed. It's that he was very overpowered before that, but this is the statistics that D&D Beyond spewed out. So these are his ability scores here. His HP is he's fine. He's 12 out of 12 if you guys can see that. Dervish is 11 out of 18, but he has a higher specs, rightfully so, because he is the leader. So Gruith is a he's a sorcerer. He's a wood elf sorcerer. That's just kind of how I pictured him. Even though initially I think when he was human, retconned him into being a wood elf. Dervish is human. I think that's been set in stone for a while now. But because I think Dervish hits his head, if this would be a Constitution check, so what we have to do is it's a +3. Now I'm going to roll the physical dice, or we can use the. I don't have a camera anymore on the dice, so you guys can't really see them rolling. If you do, let me know in the comments below if you prefer the digital dice, so you guys can see it, or you just I just roll it here and I tell you guys what I roll. So um, let's maybe we'll switch up because I know that the digital dice is not as realistic as far as the physics go, but it includes the math calculations at which there's not too much, but you know he has a +3 Constitution. Looks like he's proficient in it, so I can roll the d20 here, plus the 3. Oh yeah, and I need to set a difficulty. He's already hurt, and he fell over and hits his head on the rock. I think it needs to be a 12 or higher, so 12 will be the DC. Oh, yeah, he rolled a 2. Plus the 3 is 5. He hurts himself again. But because it's the head region, this is gonna be pretty severe. So I think he hits his head. He hit his head when he fell, and that's gonna lower his health to, let's see, 54, so about half. Um, let's go through here. Half of 11 is 5.5, so I'm gonna say we'll round up to 6. Down to 6. Damage by 6. And of course we know that we retcon Ruith what he can do as far as magic goes. I'm not too familiar with magic when it comes to D&D. Unfortunately, I don't use magic much, but spells. I don't. It looks like I haven't added anything yet, so we can definitely do that. I'm gonna pause the video and I'll add some basic spells just to get them started. Okay, I believe I did this right. I have 4 cantrips and 3 first level spells. Magic Missile, which we did use before. I even had the character she created. Shield and Sleep. The cantrips, I got Firebolt, Frostbite, Gust, and Magic Hand. That's what I chose for Druid. And then for our Dervish character, his inventory includes the following. He has 2 hand axes at the moment, and he also has, inventory-wise, where's inventory? A shield. So that's his character. Okay, back to back to the story here. I'm gonna close that down. Well, Google search never hurts. Okay, so um, yeah. Okay, the dervish hits his head. He gets hurt by 6 hit points, so he's on the five. So dervish took 6 damage because of that. Um, he's bleeding out of his head. Now he's bleeding on his head. He is he screaming? Let's see. Five. He's not screaming. So, oh, I need to, right. He's a leader. I'm gonna say like screaming in pain. He's close to, he's close to death. Five away. I'm gonna say 30% chance on this one. We'll roll again. 75. He's not screaming. He's just kind of, he's holding his head. He's not screaming in pain. Just like holding his head, his head. Now, Gruith, if he doesn't have any, narratively, he wasted any healing spell he has. I didn't have any. I couldn't find anything that heals. That was hence the Google search. So unless I missed something. So however he healed Gruith or Dervish before, that method's gone. So he's thinking about what to do, and I approach them. So I approach them and ask everyone if they're both okay. Ruith, see how he's doing. So let me go back to his card here. Ruith says 61. Ruith is he's a little aggravated at the moment. Um, but he's fine. Ruith is aggravated. He's more worried about Dervish, not really necessarily himself. I look to Dervish and maybe I'll do a DC check on myself. So can I notice that the if Dervish is I'm gonna say it's very low difficulty five. If I can notice perception check, if I can notice the pain that Dervish is in, even though he's hiding it. So maybe seven is more suitable. So I can see the bleeding, that's evident, but perception check, so we'll do 19. Yeah, so plus a three, so 22. Um, Dervish, I easily notice the amount of pain he's in and bleeding out. I tell them we need to get him to, um, or better yet, I'm going to say that I'm going to tell Dervish, maybe jokingly, like I'm going to tell Dervish he's seen better days. How does Dervish react to that? Let's see. 58. I say he kind of just grins. He grins and scuffs at the same time. He's like, he doesn't really say anything at all. I don't think he will answer. I'm going to think that Gruith recommends or Gruith asks us if we found anything, if place the camp, and I tell him yes. I tell them yes. We did find a place. It's further up. It's a cave. There was there's a campfire out. Looks like it might have been the Danger House prior. I mentioned the wagon we found, but and then Gruith. Will Gruith ask about the wagon? I'd say 65% chance. Dervish probably is more 30. So yeah, Gruith inquires about the wagon if we found anything. Anything? Found anything? I just forgot to do something on my browser here. That's better. Okay, a little more working room. Perfect. Okay, so inquires about the wagon from if we found anything. Now this would be a lie. I did a check earlier to lie. This would be deception, straight up. Ruth is he's a tough cookie, so I'm going to say that this will be. Ooh, um, we have the we have that big gold plate, which I did change the name of it in my inventory. I'm now calling it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Equipment, mysterious box, gold plated map. It's just a gold tablet, basically. That's all it is. But we haven't had time to we haven't had time to do a check on it. But this will be deception. I'm going to say 12 for Gruith. We're going to try to deceive him here. 20. I got a critical 20. So plus the modifier doesn't matter. 24. Critical 20. I am easily able to deceive or just lie to Gruith, saying we found nothing, just a tarp or something. Even though I don't think tarps were existed back then, but we'll go with it. Tarp. So now at that point, um, does anything happen? I'm going to say 50-50 on this one. Does anything happen? 66, nothing happens, nothing out of the ordinary. So I mainly think that Dervish speaks up and speaks up. Oh, right. And says, I almost forgot to mention hey, you guys lost the guy. So says that we should move then, better than nothing. He's referring to it's a cave, but um, it's better than nothing. So I also mentioned that the quake caused one of the guards to fall off the cliff, unfortunately. So I try to act like I even care off the cliff. Okay, so now let's see how they react to that. I'm going to think that Dervish does care, so we won't roll for him. But Gruith, 17, he doesn't seem to really care much. Gruith seems unfazed, which is very intriguing, actually. I'm gonna bold this one. That might be an interesting development later on. But Dervish, we know he cares about his people, so Dervish will shout in anger, "Damn it all!" He'll just say, "Damn it all!" He's gonna bang his fist on the ground. So I'm gonna tell him. I tell them, let's get to the cave for now. So me and Gruith will help. Um, does he need help? I'm gonna say, does Dervish need help to stand up? I'm gonna say 40% chance on that one. I think Gruith will help him. 37. He barely needs help, so I think for the most part, Gruith will handle most of the heavy lifting. Gruith helps up. I'm gonna help up Dervish. So I help up Dervish, but Gruith takes him up the hill. So that's kind of how I'm perceiving that yes. It's a very weak yes. So now we get to the top of the hill, and this is the first time that Dervish and Gruith are seeing the North. I think this is the first time that they're seeing North Rock. So how do they react to this? 9 or 6. They're mesmerized. So I think 6. Are they both mesmerized? Yes, they are. So 10. So 50-50 basically. They are both mesmerized by the size of you can't it's sunset, it's already nighttime, so I think it's just kind of very um low visibility, that the blue sky, usually when the sun goes down and it's the night sky starts to show, you see the stars, you can barely see the blue um kind of fading away into the darkness, but it's mostly the clouds. So size of the volcano and um the volcanic activity, which is very worrisome. So, um, does Dervish? I'm thinking Dervish says something right here because he knows that Belinda pretty much operates out of that temple apparently. 20. Oh, I didn't give a percentage. I'm gonna say that. Does he say anything? He's occupied with being hurt, but he's mesmerized by what he looks. I'm gonna say 25% chance. I think he's busy being mesmerized. 54. He doesn't say anything. So um, the guard, is the guard still down there, like invisible sight outside the cave, or is he inside? So I'm gonna say 70% chance the guard is still outside. 10 or 16. Yeah, he is indeed still outside. So the guard, the remaining guard, Misfits guard, is still standing outside waiting for us. Okay. We slowly approach him. Remember, um, Dervish is incredibly hurt at the moment. Now, the guard, I don't think we really have to roll for it, but I think the guard asks if Dervish needs medical, like needs help. And does I'm thinking Gruith my answer for him? Does Gruith answer 50-50? 25, he does. So Gruith mentions that Dervish has a is basically bleeding out in two spots. Does the guard have anything that perhaps like bandages or something? Because I think he's probably more prepared. Um, does the guard have anything to bandage up Dervish for the time being? I'm gonna say 75% chance he does. 40, yeah, he does. So the guard quickly pulls out a cloth, like a long cloth, and hands it to Dervish. Dervish will just kind of wrap around his head, so Dervish wraps the, it's why I guess it's more of a bandage around his head and stomach. I think he was hurt in the stomach region. So for now, I say that's going to heal him just a bit. Does that heal him? Let's see, 50-50. It does, 32. So it's going to heal him just a bit. That's a low, so we'll say two. Let's say two. So Dervish got a little heal there. But while we're there, does anything happen? 50-50. 69. Nothing happens. So I'm going to say that we set up camp. I'm going to look over, while they're setting up camp, I'm going to look at the town, look at North Rock, and perhaps do a perception check to see if or investigate. Let's see. Look around for clues, make deductions based on those clues. You have intelligence check, might deduce the location of hidden object. And that's probably more in the immediate area, but perceive if I can see anything unusual about North Rock. Spot here, otherwise detect the pet presence of something. I'm going to see if I can tell if I can. I just have a feeling the North Rock is not abandoned at this point because we encountered those goblins from earlier. So, and do a perception check. Perception check. Difficulty, though it is pretty far. Like I think it's gonna be 15 is the difficulty. I'm gonna roll a +3. So here we go. 12 plus the 3, and that's exactly what I need. So 13, 14, 15. I rolled a 15 total. What I'm able to make out. So let's see. 45. It's something 50 is my middle threshold. Like I think it's something small or not small. It's something. Well, first we barely notice something. So we barely notice something that's not too visible at a glance. But uh, I notice is it a light source? Maybe we just noticed one pop up. Let's say 50-50 on that one. It's not a light source. 67. Is it movement in the darkness? Oh, the moonlight. Has the moon peeked out from the volcanic cloud from the clouds of the volcano? I'm going to say 50-50 on that one too. 77. It's not moonlight. So I'm thinking it's going to be movement, a shadow of sorts. Do we see movement of perhaps in North Rock? Almost 75% chance on this one. 83. It's not movement. It's not a light source. It's not a shadow. It's not that's not a light source. It's not movement and not the moonlight. But we were able to perceive something very, very barely able to see something. What would be not a campfire? It's not is it a something perhaps? 50-50. 14, it is something. It's an object. We notice a very unique we notice there's a building that does not that sticks out like a sore thumb. It is not something typically found in a town, perhaps. So it's not church. It's not church, not a tavern. It's not a village. It's not a farmhouse. It is something unusual that looks like. Is it a makeshift camp? I'm going to say. I think we see that the town is surrounded by a like a not a fence, not a tall wall. They wouldn't have time to do that. Um, we see part of the town surrounded by a tall wall, like a wooden wall. So I notice a barely notice. So I barely notice a strange structure like a wall surrounding. Let's say it's a church surrounding the church of North Rock. Like it's in the deep right corner near the volcano itself, near the volcano edge of town. So I'm basically doing this, and I'm trying to squint, trying to look down, and I can see like some inconsistent like wall heights of this makeshift barrier. So I keep this in mind. I'm gonna bold this because I did that DC check, North Rock. Okay, so that's really intriguing. What's also intriguing is that is from earlier, Groove seemed unfazed because he's usually flamboyant. He's usually very exaggerated over the top. I think because he cares a lot for Dervish, like as a brother, that he right now he's intensely focused on getting him healed up. So he's not exactly in the mood for um disturb basically disturbances. Um, let's see. So I turn back to the team, and what are they doing exactly? Let's see. 98, they're out. So I think they're sitting down. 98's a very high, like, oh no, I'm sorry. If this was lower, calm. 98 is incredibly exaggerated. It's incredibly, something's incredibly high in the chaotic scale. So something chaotic is happening. We didn't hear anything. Did I hear something to make me turn around? Let's roll. 75% chance I heard something to make myself turn around. 97. No, I noticed something. Interesting. So the crew, the team, what are they doing? 85. The crew is apparently, I think we see something in the cave. So I turn back to the team, noticing that they spot something in the cave too. So we are all looking down the cave. And what do we see? So let's see the chaotic level of this. 25. We see something small and like there's a light source and down further in the cave. Because from early in the episode we rolled that this cave doesn't go too deep. I'm gonna say 40 to 50 yards in. It's not a very deep cave. Like I don't think it's a full-on dungeon or of sorts, but or like a cavern. But uh, we see a small flickering light source further into the cave. It's flickering though, so this flickering light source is inconsistent. It's not a could be a flame, it could be a anything really. So uh I'm gonna say, do you guys see that? Do you guys see that? What color? Let's say it's a very bright color if it's 100, or it's a very I'm trying to think of like the color scale. Um, red, green, blue. So red, low is red, high is blue. 22. So it's kind of a reddish blue. No, I'm sorry, reddish green. So I'm gonna say it's a light red color. Oh, it's flame. Yeah. So Grew it. I say I tell them who's gonna point this out? Will it be me? Hmm. I'm just perceiving it to be flames. I think it's a flame, which is strange because we have one right next to us from us. Like I'm gonna say that we set our flame already, like our campfire. I'm gonna say 80% chance. We did, yeah, 29. So we just started our own campfire. I'm gonna put this. We just started our own campfire. Oh, so this might be intriguing actually. Does the whatever the light source is in the distance of the cave, does it mimic our flame? I'm gonna say 75% chance. I have an idea for this. 93, it doesn't. Okay. So, oh wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, 93. It doesn't mimic our flame. It flickers, but it's kind of it doesn't exactly match our own. So, the guard, what does the guard do anything about it? 50-50. 37. He does. The guard pulls out his sword, tells Dervish and us that he will go check. Okay, so the guard leaves. The guard enters the cave. I'm guessing the guard has a torch. So the guard will pull out a torch. Does Dervish say anything about this? Let's say 50-50. 84, he doesn't. Dervish is just kind of looking on. He's really curious. Gruith, does Gruith say anything about this? 50-50. 60, he doesn't. Gruith is also looking. I, however, what am I going to do? I can either stay and rest, or I can go with the guard. Well, the guard is handling a potential problem down the cave, while Dervish is left with the help of Gruith, but Gruith is possibly healing him or doing whatever. He's keeping him company. So Dervish isn't left in the open without guard. I'm going to stay where I am. So I stand my spot. I sit on point, and I keep lookout on the trail. So I look up and down the trail. Do I see anything? Or do I see anybody? 50-50. 33. I see something, and I spot. Do I spot? So is it going to be someone? 50-50. 77. It's not someone, it's something. I spot something again. Okay. So I'm looking around and I spot something. What do I see? Let's see how chaotic this thing is. 31. It is not a threat. I see, I believe, not that I'm not looking at the same wagon. So I'm guessing, do I spot something down the trail towards North Rock? I'm gonna say 80% chance on that. 12. I did. So I spot something further down the trail near North Rock. So now we have these two potential issues coming up. Well, though it's not, we rule the 31 was not really a threat. But what can we see something? We understand it's not a person, it's not a living being, or is it a living being? Like, is it a living thing? 50-50. 51. My gosh. That's on the border of something that it's a living thing. Remember, I'm not using my sheets. I'm trying to jumpstart my creativity here. I'm trying to use my creativity here. What could it be? Well, while we're figuring that out, I'm gonna say roll to see what the guard discovers. The guard by now, he's probably closing in on whatever that light source is. 58. It is not a major problem, but he finds something that is it going to be another? Is it fire? So does he find fire? Oh, I just realized maybe he finds huh. This cave was used by the Danger House crew. Does he find a fire? I have an idea. 60% chance he finds a fire. 50. He does find another campfire, but this one's lit. This one's barely lit. It's like it's almost put out. So the guard finds um an active campfire but it's almost out. Like it's just a small little flame. So he looks around. I mean, we don't really see what's going on. We just kind of see him. So I think this is more of a story role. Let's say the guard, does he find anybody there? 10% chance. I'm gonna say 30. Yeah, he doesn't find anybody. So the guard shouts down. He shouts basically through the cave, echoing through that he found another campfire, but nobody around. So Gruith will yell, anything there? Like anything of value, basically. Does the guard find anything of value? So let's say, and we're just kind of hearing this. We're standing outside while we're busy looking at whatever we're looking at. We're kind of hearing this that we're just perceiving it from the sidelines. Does he find anything? I'm gonna say 60% chance that he finds something. 56. He does find something, but it's very small. He finds something small of value. Did he find some gold? Not gold. I think gold would have been a lower yes, or lower meaning a higher, like a more powerful yes, a greater yes. Um, I'm gonna say he finds a not a weapon or armor. He finds a, is it something helpful? 50-50. 30. It is something helpful. I'm gonna say he finds a potion. So he finds a plot device. Um, he finds a small value. He finds a half fill, like a half what do you call it? Not a jar, a container of like a potion of healing. Potion of healing. So he finds a half used potion of healing in those little containers. So Dervish, I'm sure Dervish is excited to hear that. So he finds some potion of healing, perhaps small loot, just like random items, like a knife or like a piece of cloth, a ring, just like kind of small random loot. It's just a bag left behind by one of the goblins. So they probably were spending some time in this cave. We haven't gone down there yet to really detail what he's exactly seeing, but he mentions the potion of healing and other things. So Dervish shouts to him to bring it back, to bring it to him, and the guard will listen. The guard starts to walk back to us with this little potion in a bag. Um, there we go. I have a lot of I have a lot of spelling errors, but I'm just typing away and kind of ignoring that. Now we have to figure out what we see. We spotted something further down, and I'm tempted to pull out the sheet, but I'm trying to resist. It could be, it's not a person, not a living thing, but it's barely an object. Well, if we can barely tell what it is, should we roll a perception check to see if we can tell what it is? Because it's really dark out. It's really dark. Is there a light source with this object? Let's say 25% chance. 87 is we don't see. I'm gonna do a perception check. I'm gonna do really a difficult 15 to see what it is. 16. Wow, plus R3, so 19. We are able to tell. So the object that I spotted is is it like a shadow, perhaps? What makes sense here? Because I'm trying to figure out. Hmm, it's not a living thing, so it's not. I don't believe it's another gang of goblins. It could be, but not at this time. Like I don't. Oh, it could be. Is it another wagon of sorts? Because this is a traveling route, so I'm thinking that we spotted like the shadow, the silhouette of a um maybe a carriage. This is a carriage, 75% chance. I rolled a solid one. It is a carriage. So, um, okay. So, but I can barely tell though. The object I spotted is a shadow. The silhouette, I can recall. Let's see. Is a carriage. Okay. Now, is the carriage moving? That's the thing. Is the carriage moving towards us? 10% chance. Because I know when we roll, there's nothing, there's no living things that we can tell. 54. It's not. The carriage is still. The carriage is off to the side. Now we don't see anyone. We don't see anybody like visibly in the carriage. So that still leaves it open. So this will be bold. I keep this in mind if we do venture down. I'm not going to leave now, but I just keep this noted in my head that yeah, I see a carriage further down. So I sit down with the others. The guard, does the guard approach us? Let's see. 15, he does. The guard arrives, comes back. He hands the potion of healing to Dervish first thing. Okay, so let's get the potion of healing inventory item for Dervish. We're giving him some rope here, so help himself out. Not rope, potion of healing. Let's see. Add item, potion of healing. Add equipment. Okay. He's going to use it, and a potion of healing is 2d4 plus 2d plus 2. So yeah, I need 2d4. All right. 2d4 plus 2. So he's going to use the potion. Okay, plus 2. So 4, 6. Okay. So he's healed 6 points. Okay. Uses potion, heals 6 HP. Okay, good. So Dervish is recovered a bit, and it's 1 use. So to delete that, he heals 6 points, and now he's okay. So Dervish's wounds mostly heal. He's just exhausted. So now it's just a good little rest. So we rest. Everybody lies down, falls asleep. With the guard. The guard stands by, stands watch for the night watch. I fall asleep. Now, while we're sleeping, does anything happen? I'm gonna say 25% chance. 89, nothing happens, and that's a high no. So nothing happens. Nothing happens overnight. It's been about maybe 6 hours, perhaps. So 6 hours passed. It's probably like 3, 4 a.m. or so. And the guard, does the guard want to fall asleep? I'm guessing he does. So 80% chance he does. 47. Yep, the guard needs to rest. Maybe he wakes me up. So he wakes me up. Doesn't want to bother Gruith or his boss. I'm the next, disposable person on this quest to switch. I'll do it. Okay, I feel rested for the most part, and I do believe that is a long rest. So I'm going to heal myself back up to maximum 15. Okay, I rested, healed, and by now I think Dervish is fully healed too. So we're going to heal him up back to 18. I rested, I'm healed. Dervish is fine, and I think Gruith is also, yeah, he's fine. All right. I take watch. I'm going to sit on the rock and look around. Is that carriage still there? I'm going to say 90% chance the carriage is still there. 9. Oh, yeah. And I'm really interested in going and checking it out while they're sleeping. So I'm actually tempted to leave. But first, I see the carriage again, interested in looting it. But then I remember the goblins we murdered in the last episode. So I recall the goblins from earlier have not been looted yet. And that was one of my questions from earlier. I almost forgot. So I look to my right, and I see? I'm thinking I probably don't see them, but 10% chance I see, or 15% chance I can see up over the hill from my point of view. 83. So I'm going to slowly, quietly stand up. I quietly walk back up the trail to uh, to the basically the bodies of the goblins. Okay. Are Do I have any issues going there? Let's see what happens. 93. Nope, not a problem at all. So 93. I get okay. So I get there with no issue. I'm relying completely on the moonlight at this point. I'm gonna say the moon is out. 75% chance the moon is out right now. 75. It is barely that there's heavy clouds, but the moon is peeking through. Heavy clouds, but the moon is shining through. Barely enough for us to see. How many goblins were there? Three or four? Four. Okay, I loot the leader. So I loot the leader goblin. Do I find anything? 78. I don't find anything of value. Actually, I'm sorry. I didn't really put a difficulty on that. Or a yes or no on that one. I'm gonna treat 78 as the chaotic. I find something really interesting. So I find a valuable item. Let's say gold. I find gold. Let's do 2d6. How much gold is it? Six gold pieces. Okay, that's better than nothing. I find six gold pieces. Let's add that to my stock. Gold pieces, six gold pieces. Do I find a weapon, perhaps? What did he have? No, we don't really. I didn't really talk much about the weapons. He had a warhammer. Oh yeah, his warhammer. Did someone take it? Does he still have his warhammer? 70% chance. I'm thinking he does. Yep. I take his warhammer. Forgot about that thing. Let's see if that's even a choice in D&D. I'm pretty sure it is, but inventory, warhammer. There it is. How good is this item? Oh, not bad. I'm gonna add that sucker. So I add a warhammer to my inventory. I'm gonna. Yep, that's in my inventory now. If I find armor, perhaps 50-50. Oh, I gotta reroll 0-0. 84. I don't find any armor. Someone else stole it, perhaps. Okay, I'm gonna loot the next. Can I loot the next goblin without being interrupted? It's 50-50. Oh, 45. Something interrupts me. Oh, okay, interesting. Very small though. Before I loot the next goblin, I found a warhammer and some gold, which is not too bad. I I hear something. I hear something, but very faint in the background. I hear something. Okay. I stop, like a deer in headlights, and I think this might require a check. Let's do I think this is perception, perhaps? Yeah, this be I'm gonna do perception check to see if I can spawn it. I can hear something. I'm gonna do 15. 11 plus the 3, 14. I can't make out what it is. So I did hear something, but I don't know what it is. I don't. Oh yeah, so DC was 15, roll was 14. I can't tell what the noise is. So I'm gonna keep. Does something happen at this point? Because now I'm really curious. 69 again. Oh, 69. So nothing happens at this moment, but there's a tense feeling in the air. Nothing happens, but there is a tense feeling in the air. I'm gonna do a I just have a thought that I'm being watched at this point. So investigation, this might be investigation, perhaps. Let's see. Or survival. Honey, I got it. Identify signs of I'm gonna do survival because I think this is something a survival check. Like there's just something odd going on. So I'll do we'll do difficulty of 15 again. 19. So yeah, I spot another owlbear. That's what I'm gonna say. Another owlbear. No, I'm sorry. We had a griffins earlier, but I'm going based on this. I spot an owlbear, not another. An owlbear in there's a forest clearing in front of me. In the forest clearing in front of me, right before I'm about to to loot the next goblin. This owlbear is an adult. Let's see, 50-50 is an adult owlbear. 22, it is indeed. Okay. It is an adult. It's a huge one, owlbear. Let's see, 1 second. Okay, now is this owlbear a threat? Like, does he see me? I heard, like, I see it. Does it see me? I'm gonna say 80% chance. 3, it does. It is looking right at me. It is looking right at me. Now, I stay still. I'm gonna treat this like an actual bear. I stay still. Okay, I remain still. What does he do? Let's see. We'll just roll up. We'll roll up a D100. 83. He also remains still. The owlbear remains still. We're both just standing there looking at each other like, uh, maybe the owlbear is territorial, but I'm not exactly in its way of anything. I will step back 1 step. Can I do that? Athletic check, maybe? Say athletic check. We'll try that. Athletic check. Or animal handling? A domesticated, it's definitely not a domesticated animal. Could be a mount from getting spooked or into it in most intentions. The GM might call it a wisdom. You'll also make a wisdom check to control amounts. I think more of a mount like a horse or something, but um, we'll do an athletic check. I'm more curious if this will. No, stealth. This would be stealth check. I'm sorry. Stealth check. I have a +7 on stealth. So it is an adult owlbear. We'll keep it at 15 for now. 12 plus the 7. That is perfect. So I have 18. So I'm sorry, 19. My gosh. 19. So DC was 15. Roll 19. I'm able to back up without spooking the owlbear. Now, does the owlbear like? I think the owlbear is there to just eat, find food. Let's see. Does the owlbear? Can I tell if he's like sniffing? So do I see like he's just trying to smell for something? I think this would be a perception check. I'm pretty close. I'm gonna say 10, like a low difficulty of 10. 9 or 6 plus the perception check 3. 9. I have a hunch. Oh yeah, I forgot DC of 10, roll of 9. I have a hunch that the bear is, or the owl bear is there looking for food. Man, there's ice elementals here. There's goblins. There's owl bears. This place is just it's a freaking, it's a dangerous area to be. Is there looking for food? But I can't tell if if it is sniffing around. That's what I'm trying to say. We did a roll to see if we can physically or visually tell if the owlbear is sniffing, but at this point, because my roll was so close, I just have a hunch. Okay, I'm going to keep walking backwards because I already have a warhammer on my back and some gold, so I keep walking backwards up the hill. That'll be an athletics check because I'm not looking where I'm going. It's dark. 3, so let's say 12 on this one. 18, perfect. So I make DC 12, roll 18. I make it to the top of the hill. The owlbear, what does the owlbear do? 52. The owlbear kind of comes out, so the owlbear kind of leaves the forest onto the trail, and I think now it starts sniffing around the dead goblins. So I think he's there looking for food. At that point, he's not a threat to us. He was potentially a threat, but we kind of avoided danger there, danger Will Robinson. So Um, I look, I turn back to the cave further down and quietly return uh, to the party. So to the team. Now, while I was gone, did anything happen? 88. Something indeed happened when I was gone. So something pretty severe happened. That's interesting. Something happened. Severe happened while I was gone. Okay. Now, is it going to be so what is it? Is it did one of the characters wake up and see that I was not there? Let's say 50-50 on that one. Yes, 21. So one of the characters woke up, and I think because it's 21, I would say Gruith woke up. Gruith woke up and noticed I was gone, or nobody was on guard. He didn't know about the change, but he sees the guard is sleeping, so he's assuming that I'm on guard. As I walk back to them, I see Gruith looking around for me, pissed off, apparently, like really agitated. He's angry. And does he say anything to me? I'm gonna say he does. 25% chance. 23, he does, yeah. So he asks where the hell was I? I'm gonna lie saying that I had to take a leak. That's just what I was thinking off the bat, tip of my head. Uh, off the top of my head, yeah, I was just out taking a leak, but that is a deception check. So, but Gruith is pissed. He kind of believes us now. I think 12 is probably a good difficulty for this. So deception. To lie about, we have to take a leak. 14, yeah. So DC 12 rolled. 14 plus the 4, that's 18. I had to take a leak. Um, so he believes us. He's like, oh, okay. Well, just next time maybe let one of us know. So he lets, but tells us let someone know next time to cover, basically to cover. Um, I sigh and then I sit back down. And now I'm looking into the darkness of North Rock. I can see the volcano is settling down at the moment. Well, let's see. Is the volcano settling down? I'm gonna say 80% chance because it has those moments of calm before it erupts again, causes another quake. 80% chance. Yeah, it is 68. So it's still a little active. The volcano is calm but slightly active. There's like some bubbling, like lava, just a little bit, couple little shit things shooting up. Slightly active. Okay. Now, before we close this episode out, because it's about an hour, um, I'm going to roll to see if anything happens before we close the episode out. So I'm sitting there on guard. Let's see if anything happens. 61, something modest, some 61. So roll of 61. Something, I'd say, modest happens. Do we see something? Is it something visual? 50-50. 88, it's not something we can see. Do we hear something? 50-50. 23, we hear something again. So we hear something again, but I think it's not going to be the owlbear. That thing it's back there, probably eating away the goblins or whatever food, the rations they had on them. So is the noise coming from North Rock? Let's see. I'm going to say 50-50 on this one. Or no, 60% chance. It is. The noise, no, 38. The noise, we hear an audible noise. Not too loud, not incredibly loud, but we hear an audible noise coming from North Rock. Is it uh the noise of something or someone? So, hmm. I wish it's the noise of something or someone. Is it a scream? Perhaps 75% chance. 72. It is a very faint scream. We hear a faint scream coming from North Rock. And that probably should have been a perception check on our part, but I skipped over that detail. So I stand up. Now 50-50. 50% it's a 1 through 50 it's a male scream, or 51 or higher it's a female scream. 57, it's a female. We believe it's a female scream. We believe, or I believe I should say. I think it's a female scream. Okay, so now we heard a scream come out of North Rock. And at first we thought this place was abandoned, but more and more I'm thinking that there's goblins down there. Does any of my party members hear the scream? They're out cold. I think Gruith just probably went to bed, but I think, does anybody else? I'm going to say 60% chance they heard the scream too. 34, they did. Was it Gruith? 75% chance. 4, it was Gruith. Gruith also heard the female scream. He stands up and walks up to me looking at North Rock. I look to him and say, I thought that place was abandoned. So, does he say anything to me? 50-50. 37, he does. So he also looks to me and says, like, I'm just picturing us both looking into the North Rock, and the camera angle's behind us. We're both looking at each other like this, and I believe he's going to say that possibly more trouble. So he says possibly more trouble. And that's where it cuts to black. So, all right. So we're gonna end an episode of a scream of help, perhaps, or it's we don't know. It's just a scream. So um, that was episode 21, and uh, that wasn't too bad. No encounters. We almost had an encounter with an owlbear, but we got a warhammer. We oh yeah, we saw the carriage down below. We can't forget that. So episode 22. I'm gonna put some notes here. Episode 22, and then as usual, what of the carriage? Whose carriage is it? Why is it there? Is it abandoned? Is anybody inside? The scream from North Rock. That's sounded like a good title for next episode. Let's see. What else do we have in notes here? Oh yeah, that's right. The wall surrounding the church, and then let's see what else we have here. Gruith. The Gruith thing, I believe we've already figured that out. He's not easily phased when he's in serious mode. And the little campfire we found inside the cave was just further in. I think that's good for now. The owlbear is no, maybe the owlbear is still back, further back. We'll keep that there. But yeah, so as far as this episode name 21, we were in the cave. The cave, maybe. The cave. So we'll keep it at that. I don't believe I have another episode like that name, do I? The cave. If I do, I will change it. But for now, we're going with the cave. But in any event, thank you for watching as always. And yeah, that was pretty good. That was a decent episode. Pretty mild. Nothing significant happened. Just a few discoveries, and yeah, some perception checks too. But all in all, that's not too bad. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time on 830 RPG.